Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. My name's the British Eagle, and today, Hoenn and I are going to go get our Terra Den encounters. So let's go, let's hop to it.
Okay,
throw back to Pokemon Sword and Shield, hop to it.
Yeah, hop. Good old Hop, the
wait,
best.
Speaking of Hop, I got to ask you this.
Yes.
Have you seen on YouTube the Pokemon rap videos where they, there's this guy, Cam Steady or something like that is his name. Basically, he gets a bunch of YouTubers to come on his channel and they rap about certain themes. So like one of his rap videos is about all of the champions. And they so it's like Lance rapping about him being a Dragon Master and stuff. It's really cool. You need to look into it. It's Pokemon rap battles, or not battles. They're not battling others, but yeah, pretty cool.
I'll have to have a look at that.
Okay.
I know what I did want to. I know what I did want to speak to you about.
Oh yeah.
What's it?
What about my
Have you heard the news? Have you heard the news about the anime?
Yes, they got rid of Ash. I think that's fair. I think it makes sense. I mean,
so yeah, what are your thoughts on it?
So I saw a tweet the other day. It's funny you actually bring this up. So someone tweeted like a picture of Ash, the year of the episode in the picture, and then what his ranking was in the tournaments. And so in the tournaments, he got like in 1991, he came in like, I don't know, last place or whatever it was. And then as he went further and further through his journey, he obviously got better. And then finally, the last two series, he won as a champion, and then he became the league champion or the whatever it was. So I think it was kind of perfect. Like, he continued to get better. He continued to go through his journey. He's been doing it for 20 years now or whatever. I think it's about time they go with someone new. You have to change these things up. You have to.
Yes,
that's my opinion, at least. You can't keep doing this forever. Because at some point, I mean, I think it might have already gotten a little stale with Ash and Pikachu. Like,
Have you watched Journeys?
I haven't. I heard that the recent series, the more recent ones were really good, so I probably could do with checking them out. I just, honestly, I've got so much stuff to watch, I'm behind on like a million things.
Okay. I get that. So, for me, I haven't watched anything outside of, after Johto, I didn't watch any of the Pokemon anime.
Same.
So, I watched a little bit of Sun and Moon when my daughter was going through a phase of watching it, so I didn't really see a lot. I probably saw about 8-9 episodes, nothing major. And then I have been watching Pokemon Journeys, so I'm about halfway through Pokemon Journeys at the moment, watching it as part of the podcast. You should definitely go and listen to my podcast if you haven't already, you know.
No, I'm good. No, thanks. I'm good.
Oh, okay, right. I see how it is.
I got more important things. I'm a busy man. Listen, I got more important things to do. So, yeah.
But the great thing about a podcast, you can just listen to it while you're on the go, you're in the car, whatever it might be. Anyway, so one thing that I really liked about Pokemon Journeys is that it doesn't treat Ash like a
child.
An amateur. No, he's still a child, but he's a lot more mature. He's obviously journeyed, and he's obviously grown as an individual. See what I did there? I did. And what I like about it is that he doesn't come into this series and he's losing battles left and right because, like, how else are they going to, you know, show that Ash needs to progress? Like, he wins the battles that he probably should win, and he sometimes loses the battles that he sometimes should lose. And what I love about Journeys is it's almost like, looking back, it's almost wrapping up his story. Like, him exploring basically the past and present of Pokemon and visiting old friends and locations that he's already been on. I think it probably is time to try something new, especially with how the series is going to wrap up in terms of where Ash ends up in the latest competition. So I think it's probably time that you kind of go, okay, this was Ash's journey, this was Ash's goal, this is how this is how far he got towards that goal. Let's move on and do something else. I think it'll be quite interesting.
Quick question, just to cut you off. Can I look up how to change Rotom's form?
Yeah. Do it now. Do it now.
Worth catching this.
Yes, agreed. Agreed. Yeah, I personally would say, yeah, look it up. I don't know how you can change it in this game, to be quite honest with you. I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting. So if this is accurate, it says to change Rotom's form, you need to get the Rotom catalog. With Rotom in your party, you can select it from the key items menu to change its forms. Pokemon and Scarlet Violet, where to get the Rotom catalog. Once you have beaten the Water-type gym, you'll be able to access the auctions. Oh, so you have to buy it in the auctions?
Okay.
That's so risky. There's no guarantee you get that. So how am I supposed to...
There's not. But a fairy-type Rotom that can be... So the great thing about that Rotom is you can change the version of it, its form, and it will always be fairy. That's really useful,
That's true.
I think.
And the only issue is it does say in the online form that it is hard to find. I'm sure someone online has done some type of video to be like, here's how to, save your game, reset, and do all that. So I am actually going to challenge this. What are the levels for 4-star raids?
I don't know. If we've already established it, if you lose, you don't lose your mom. It's fine.
Also,
it's absolutely fine.
In case we didn't say this, we're getting these dens, in case it's not clearly obvious, we're getting these because we just beat the gym in the last episode. So that's why we're doing this. So we're going to do this, and I think Hoenn was saying before we recorded that we're going to try and knock out a Team Star base. The fairy one, I think you said. So
yes. By the way, see if you can see a Pokeball on the floor. I've got one on mine. I've got a great ball. You probably can't see it on mine.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yeah, there it is.
Interesting. So that's how they get the typing to, or that's how that's their way of resetting the spawns or whatever. That's interesting.
So for my understanding is that because I've seen a video by somebody that does out of bounds. What just happened?
Paralyzed first turn, really?
Wow.
Well, I didn't get stopped from attacking, but he paralyzed me on the first attack, which is
infuriating. So I've seen a video where somebody's managed to get out of bounds in this game, and basically all the raid den. So there's a raid den located somewhere under the island. There's also the caves that you go into with Arvin after you beat the Titans. And in each of those... What's up? You look really confused.
No, I'm listening to what you're saying. I didn't know there was a place underneath and all that. No, sorry, my bad.
So when they go out of bounds, you can find all the caves that are part of the story, which is where they go to. And I think that's what those balls are for. It's almost like a way to teleport the player from, okay, you're over here, now you need to be in this cave ready for this thing that's about to happen. I'm really struggling. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. If I could land my Iron Heads, there we go. That should do it. So part of the reason I had a shocked look on my face was, one, I was listening to your story, and I was like, oh, I didn't know there was a place you could, go to, it's underground, what you were saying, and when you broke through. I was also confused because I've not done a 4-star raid before, and so I didn't know they gave themselves barrier, or not barriers, but that defense buff. That's intimidating.
Yeah. They get a lot more difficult. They've had 7-star raids, and apparently the 7-star raids are an absolute nightmare because you need a strategy to beat them. You need certain mons with moves and abilities in order to be able to win.
I saw Birdo doing one of them, and I was in his live stream, and I was like, hey, man, what's up? He was like, hey, how's it going, British Eagle? I was like, good, man. Can I join your raid? He was like, how far are you in the game? I was like, I'm 4 badges. He was like, no, you can't join me. I'm sorry.
No, you just will not win, unfortunately. So this is the part where you need to be able to terrestrialize to do a lot of damage to them, I think.
I'm doing all right. To be fair, I have a super effective Iron Head, but yeah, terrestrializing probably makes sense here. Oh.
Wait,
I can't.
I'm not a fire type.
You're not?
Oh, no. Well, I'm not a terrestrialized fire type, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit this mon. I don't know how this is going to work. Oh, no.
So is this a 4-star for you as well?
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see if we get the large candies, because that would make a massive difference in the grinding off screen. That would change everything. Obviously, it's not going to be... Well, no, it will still be easy like the 3-star raids, because you'll just join people online. So,
yes.
Okay. Ooh,
seriously, this mon is hurting me.
Do you know if Dusk Balls count... Does this count as a cavern, like a dark place?
It's 100% accurate. The catch rate is 100%.
With any ball or a Dusk Ball, or what do you
Any
specify?
ball.
Really?
Any ball. Yeah.
Okay, because Sword and Shield, was that 100%? I thought they could break out from those.
They could, yeah.
But this is not.
They
okay, that's interesting. I guess it makes sense because if you got your Sableye shiny and you threw a Pokeball and it's like, whoops, sorry, can't catch it, that would suck.
Yeah, it would. I don't think I'm catching this Mon, you know.
What do you mean you're not going to catch it? Well,
I just can't break its shields. No, but the time is going to run out.
Oh, I forgot about the timer. I didn't. Yes, we get large candies.
Okay,
oh,
finally.
That's going to change. Guys, you have no idea. I had to collect like 400 medium candies to get to this 55 level. It was horrible. Okay, so I got the Rotom. I think Electric, Ghost, and Fairy is a pretty good unique typing. And I believe I'll have Levitate, too. So that's going to make this even better.
I'm so annoyed by that. I got blown out of the den. No, I'm so... Like, it's just the...
So why did you terrestrialize into flying, though? Because weren't you super effective with your fire moves?
So when it hits that part where it's got almost like a secondary bar of health, you can only reduce it by using terrestrialized moves, is my understanding. And the problem is, I could only terrestrialize into a flying type.
I didn't terrestrialize, and I still did damage.
Oh, I don't know why it wasn't doing it for me. Oh, I don't know what it was doing for me.
It was probably the lag, because I've seen lag so much on these raids.
That was terrible.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The lag was like, no, there was parts where my allies had fainted, but they were still displayed as having HP on screen. Like, I just don't get how they take the raids from Sword and Shield, which were really good. And all they needed to do was speed them up. That's all they needed to do, speed them up. And I don't get why they've gone with this half-house approach, which just doesn't work. It's just a little bit crap.
That does suck, man. No, I get it. I think the biggest issues in this are obviously the graphics, the timer for the battle, and the way they, just some of the things they did with the gameplay. Obviously, the stats that we talked about, attack goes up by 1, defense goes up by 1. It's like, Jesus, guys, we're in 2022 and you can't figure that stuff out. Like, what are we doing?
Agreed.
I will say, though, guys, I don't think Hoenn answered my question from the previous episode.
Okay. What was it?
Do you like terrestrializing better than Mega Evolution?
Oh, I didn't.
And where are we going, by the way? Before you answer that.
Follow me north. So,
are we going to the Fairy Gym? Oh no,
yeah,
that's a Terra,
the Team Star.
Or not Terra, sorry, that's a Team Star. Sorry.
Team Star. Yeah. So we're going down here. Do I prefer it more than Mega Evolution?
You had to pick one, like right now.
Oh, okay.
Tough.
I think it would be terrestrialization.
Yeah.
Simply because of just the diversity. And Megas are great, but the Megas are kind of one of those things where a Pokemon can be a Mega or it can't. Terrestrializing, I'm sure there will be Pokemon in competitions Pokemon that have been overlooked. Nobody uses these Pokemon, and somebody finds a way to use them using terrestrialization. Don't get me wrong, I love the designs of Megas. I would love to see more of that for the terrestrialization, but obviously that's not going to happen.
Well, you know what's going to happen eventually, right? You know that we're going to get someone make a mod of this game.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be Megas, and they're going to get to terrestrialize, and I'm going to absolutely crap my pants. It's going to be so much fun. Have we, by the way, gotten all of our encounters? Because this is a new area, isn't it? This beach, like, front or...
Yeah, we got it. Because I remember we came, or at least I came from the north on the beach.
North Province Area 3.
You got a Florges or whatever the one before Florges is.
Is this still just North Province Area 3? It doesn't change as we get closer to the base?
No.
Oh, okay. That's a shame.
It's bizarre. It's just bizarre how it's done, unfortunately.
That's the other thing that obviously could have been done better in this game is, like, maybe they could have made it so that the areas split up a bit better. You know what? I will say this, though. I think this is going to lead into a better Gen 10. And Gen 10 is going to have hopefully some of these things figured out. And even if they don't have them figured out, this game to me is like Legends Arceus, where it's just providing another step in the right direction, right? Like, I know that in this game, which, by the way, that's disappointing we didn't get the catching mechanic from Legends Arceus in this game.
Agreed.
I think that would have been fantastic. This could have been... If that catching mechanic was in this game, this would have been the Legends Arceus I wanted. This style, not the story, but the style.
Agreed. I completely agree with you. The fact that the catching mechanic isn't in this is very disappointing, because it was the fact that you could just fly on a Pokemon, drop down, land in a smoke ball, and then just throw Pokeballs left and right at every Pokemon you could see was a fantastic mechanic. I really miss it, unfortunately.
Sneaking around was
really
fun.
do miss it.
The ability to like,
yes.
I remember catching Abras, and the Abras would disappear if you got too close or if you made too much noise. So you had to be careful with that. You had to use quick balls sometimes, or like the fast balls that you threw. Yeah, for me, that's the disappointing thing. I really thought that Legends Arceus was the stepping stone to this game.
Yes.
So it does seem weird that they went back from that. Do you think that Legends Arceus is a standalone catching mechanic and we'll never get that again?
I hope not.
But do you
really
think,
hope.
in all honesty, do you think that's how Pokemon's doing it? Kind of like Let's Go, where it's that one-time, one-off thing and we're not getting it back like that?
I like to think with how well Legends Arceus sold that it's not a one and done, and the fact that the team that made Legends Arceus obviously really had this direction that they wanted to go with that game, and I like to think that's given them the appetite to go, let's do that again.
Maybe.
For me personally, like, there is a perfect game somewhere between those two games, and they just need to kind of amalgamate them for Generation 10 and improve some things. But one thing that I haven't really seen discussed is that, like, the development for both of those games happened during COVID, when COVID happened.
That's crazy.
And suddenly,
that's so long ago, too.
And like the date for Generation 9 was set before COVID. Like, They could have turned.
Wow.
They could have turned around and gone, we need another year. COVID's happened. I know that, and the reason why I'm bringing up COVID is because, like, everybody's job was the same. When you were suddenly forced to work from home and you didn't have all the right equipment, you couldn't. The systems weren't set up because home working wasn't really a done thing for the majority of companies.
Yeah.
And especially my understanding of Japan, the culture is such a work heavy culture of you are at work for so long and then your social life is around your work outside of work. Like, it really wouldn't surprise me that COVID happens, you're working from home, and so many employees are just sat there going, can't do anything. Like, I can't log onto the systems, I can't access all the graphical elements and whatnot that I need. So the fact that they still managed to launch those two games at the deadlines they originally set, rather than going, and they should have got, to be fair, they should have gone, give us more time, because I do think that COVID had an impact and they had less time to get those games out, even though they released at the same time. I hope that makes sense. Like, they had less time because they had less development time.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's I mean, there's just, I don't know. It's definitely it's unfortunate, and it's just kind of one of those things where, like, it's kind of like what I said before. I'm so bad at using these. Okay, there we go. It's kind of like what I said before, which is that the Pokemon Company, they don't care. I mean, they could have put out the worst game possible, and they could have sold it to us with all Gen 1 Pokemon, but we still would have bought it. You know, like, that's the problem. And, like, you're never going to be able to get everyone in the world to be like, hey, guys, don't buy this game, boycott it, so that way we can go ahead and get them to force the company to really put effort into this. No one's ever going to do that, because there are tons of people online that are like, this is the greatest thing made since sliced bread. And there are other people that are like, this is the worst game ever made. And I'm not in either of those camps. I really do like the game a lot. I've played this already more than I ever did Sword and Shield, and that's saying something.
Wow.
So, like, I don't know. It's just, I think that no matter what happens, Pokemon Company's going to make what they want to make, and they're not going to care.
Yeah.
Like, we can tweet about it all day, and no one's going to be able to change that. Big YouTubers, you know, the biggest Poketubers, it doesn't matter. They're not going to change it because of our opinions. They're going to make money in their business. It's it
well, that's it. Like, ultimately, they are a business, and they exist to make money. Whether or not you give them your money is up to you entirely. Unfortunately, the staff that work there won't be sat at home going, we released it. We released a perfect game, folks. We did it. Like, it's a and then suddenly shocked to find, people's thoughts and stuff like that. I don't think they would be. I don't think they would be thinking, oh, okay, right. We released the perfect game. They won't. They'll be aware of the issues in the game, unfortunately. But it's up to them what they do. I think, to be fair, I think it'll be interesting to know what they're thinking of doing with DLC. There is no way they don't bring out DLC because of how well it did for Sword and Shield. But the question is, like, how much are people willing to take before they give more money back to Game Freak? Because I'm sure there will be people going, I refuse to buy the DLC until they fix what they perceive to be the issues with the game, which there are issues.
So,
there are issues.
Did you hear the rumor about what the DLC is going to be? The rumors that are already coming out?
No, I haven't.
Do you want to hear what the rumors are? I mean, who knows if they're true or not?
I'm okay. I'm okay repeating rumors.
I don't think this is going to happen, but if it did, and they give us this game with what I've read online, I will be pretty stoked. There is apparently connections to Kalos. And so I've heard that there's some way that we're going to get to travel to Kalos. Now, granted, it may not be Kalos' first city where you get your... It's not going to be like that. But I do think that there's some... If they do bring Kalos into this and we get a new area in Kalos, that will still be really cool. And potentially seeing some of the maybe potential original characters or original Professor Sycamore. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if that could work. But I love the idea of that. I think it'd be cool.
Dude, you have got to listen to the podcast. We do a whole episode on the DLC and what we think. Now, I don't, as much as I want it, I don't think we are getting Kalos.
I don't think so either. It's just nice. It's wishful thinking.
Yeah. But I need to break this down. Like, there is no way we are getting Kalos that we know from the 3DS games. Sure. Like, because they would need to rebuild that.
That's
is
what
there
I was
a possibility?
For. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love it. Don't get me wrong, I would absolutely love it, but I don't think we gain it. However, that's not to say we might not get a part of the map that, it's Kalos, it's just not, it's like the southwestern part of Kalos, and you've never been there before.
That's what I'm saying.
They can do whatever they want. The reason I still don't think that will happen is because, like, they had a whole game that was about France and a region based on France. This is the region based on Spain. Surely they would want to have it where we can now explore Spain, like more of Spain, more of the culture, the mythos and all that. But then saying that, like the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra, how much of that was based on English lore? A little bit, I guess.
I think from as much as we've joked about and made fun of the Pokemon Company and like not understanding or listening to the fans and what we say, it would be very smart of them to bring in another region, because if you look at anything to do with Gen 2, everybody loses their mind because they're like, two regions, wow! And while Gen 2 isn't my favorite generation, sorry guys, don't kill me in the comments, it is still one of the most beloved generations because of multiple regions. So it would be smart for Pokemon to say, okay, we're not going to give you everything you want, but you know what? We'll give you a second region. And you're right, they're not going to remake the entire... I mean, if they did, that would be a wild DLC. But because they're not, and we know they're not going to, I think it would be smart of them to go, you know what, like you just said, we're going to give you the southern eastern region of Kalos, and you've never seen it before, but Professor Sycamore's there, and he's exploring, and he's got a gift Pokemon for you that's from Gen 6, and like that would be really cool. I would love that, but it's wishful thinking, guys. I know. Yeah.
They do need, and this is something else we discussed in the podcast, they do need to start linking these games more, because there isn't really many characters that appear in multiple games, and I'm not saying they need to be major roles, but like the fact that you've got Area Zero and the Crystal Phenomenon, and you have characters in previous games that have that kind of link to that story. Like, why the DLC could explore the mystery behind terrestrialization, the third legendary Pokemon, as there normally is. Like, You could get Steven Stone. You could bring him in and have him lead the expedition because of his background in... Like, I just don't get why they're not willing to, like, play up some more of these... Like, this... All these Pokemon games are just, like, in their own little world. Why are they not interconnected like Marvel? Like, you could do it where there is little nods and winks to different characters that do live outside of the game that you're currently playing. I wish they did more of that. I really did. I really, really did, unfortunately.
I think that, like, that... So, I think it would be too big to combine, obviously, all of the regions into one. I think that would be too much of a game. However, I wouldn't mind seeing, like, 1 and 2 combined, but instead of Gen 2 being remade, it's Kanto first, then Johto, and it's like... It's somehow a different story with a different character, and you bump into Ash and Gary, right? But I'd go beyond that. Then I'd do 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, and then 9 and 10. Like, that would be a cool way to make games like... You combine the regions, right? You basically just make Gen 2, but with the different regions. And also figure out the scaling for the levels, please.
So are you thinking something similar to, like, basically like Mamorphagus, like World of Warcraft and stuff, where
what is that?
You... So it's basically... So it's a game... Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Games by service? Basically, it's a game that is constantly evolving and growing. So you would have a game where it starts with, like, so you don't even pay for a game. It's free to play. You get to choose where you start your journey and which Pokemon you get, and then over time they will add more regions onto it and more content and more. What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know
I'm looking
what the
for
word
a game.
is, but it's there's something somewhat similar with Pokemon Crystal. I can't remember what the ROM hack is, but it's Pokemon Crystal something, and basically you can pick where you start in Johto or Kanto, and you choose what starter you start with, and it's like 15 options. So, I know what you're talking about with that.
Something like that, and I like, don't get me wrong, I don't want it to happen mainly because a free to play game is inevitably going to have microtransactions in it. I don't want that either, because you can see them doing it and being like, okay, so you've started in this region, buy 1,000 Pokeballs for £10. It's like, right, I don't want to do this. Like, but that would get around some of the limitations of doing this kind of development cycle. And you could almost start from scratch. If you choose a region, you start with the one region, and you introduce a segment of Pokemon, and then every 6 months to a year, you add on an extra region with extra Pokemon, extra gym leaders, content, stuff like that. It amazes me that they've not done that, considering how successful, like, the likes of Pokemon Go, Pokemon Unite, and Pokemon Masters have all proved for bringing in extra income through microtransactions. I'm amazed they haven't done it. I just want them to take a little bit more. Put a little bit more love into these games.
I don't think they can, though. Well, sorry, no, let me rephrase that. I think they can. I think they're choosing not to because what you've said to me in almost every series is whenever we're playing a new game together, whether it's BDSP, it's, we're playing Scarlet and Violet, you've always brought up the fact that, like, oh, this game was started back in 2018 and they've been working on it then, and they finished it to work on the next game. So they're probably already in the middle of Gen 10 right now. And who knows, they're probably going to stop working on it a year before it comes out to get the trailers and everything ready. And the thing is like, I think it's kind of like the whole situation with, like, getting the games out is valuable for many factors, right? Or assets. So it gets more Pokemon cards out there quicker because you get new Pokemon. Which means that you can also make another anime, which means you can get more money from that. So their revenue is highly dependent on these newer games, and so I think that's why they're like, we don't have time. Let's go. Gen 10, next year. Gen 11, 2 years from now. Gen 13, like, they're at a point now where they're speeding up so much, and I think back in the day, that wasn't the case, because I don't remember Pokemon games coming out this quick in the past. So I could be wrong. Maybe the dates are similar, but...
So they still did come out every 2 to 3 years, but there's a couple of things there. One, like, whenever you go and buy a plush or a Pokemon trading card set, like, that money doesn't go to Game Freak. Game Freak doesn't see a penny of it.
Yeah.
So like Game Freak is highly reliant on the game selling and making money that way, unfortunately. And in terms of in the older games, like pulling together a pixel game is a hell of a lot easier and quicker than pulling together a full game that's 3D modeled, open world. Like, so it was probably a lot easier for them to do that. And my understanding is the workforce never really shifted well from 2D to 3D. You're just in the background for some reason. And like developing pixel.
Wait, I am?
Pixel.
Like on your screen?
You were just in the background, just stood behind me for some reason.
Oh, that's weird.
Just
sorry, man. I'm
menacingly
always
looking over my shoulder for some reason. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Gen 10 and whether or not they learn the lessons from it. Like I'm kind of at that stage where, you know, I only came back into Pokemon around Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, but didn't really care about Sun and Moon, and then Sword and Shield is when I had just started, you know, my whole YouTube journey, but I didn't get to experience the launch of that from start to finish. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet I have, so it'll be interesting to see if I pick up on the warning signs with Gen 10 and fall into the same traps of, wow, look at this trailer, it's amazing, only for then a couple of months later.
Oh, he mentions the Galar region. Wait, so I had them return home to the Galar region under the pretext of overseas study.
Yes.
Oh, so, okay, I was kind of skipping through this because we're not obviously reading text anymore now that the game's been out for a month. So what is this all about? So he's the guy we just fought, or the person we fought, is the kid of a rich family. And the guy, Mr. Harrington, used to be the former director. And I saw something in the text about, like, I was kind of skimming through it. They basically had there was an altercation. The Team Star group leaders that we fought, to avoid them getting in trouble, someone from Team Star went to Mr. Harrington and said, hey, like, I'll take the fall for it if you don't, put the blame on them. So is that the leader of Team Star? They left to take the fall for what happened? Because I guess these guys, so the Team Star people we fought so far, they were not always bad kids. They, I guess, fought... the bullies? They tried to fight back?
Yes.
Okay. I know I said I didn't really read much. I did skim through it. I know I just said a lot, but you got the
gist of it. You got the gist of it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So the leader of Team Star basically took the fall for the rest of the team because what the bullies did to get back at them got out of hand, apparently. And basically, Mr. Harrington helped to just sweep it all under the rug, and the Team Star member was basically sent away for a while.
Do we know who that is?
Slap on the wrist. I do.
Well, I know you do. I'm saying, like, did they say it in the text and I just missed it? Okay, they didn't say who it is. All right, I'm curious. No, I think it's Penny. I think Penny is kind of keeping an eye out for her old Team Star members and, like, having us check up on them. That's my guess. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Hoenn hasn't told me anything, so if I'm right, I'm just a genius. But, interesting. I'm curious to see... who is this gonna be? Who is Cassiopeia? Also, I'm surprised we haven't seen Penny much. Like, I feel like we've seen her, like, twice? Like, I thought Penny was gonna be, like, another rival that, like, you see quite often, but barely at all. Oh, well,
yeah, she pops up every now and again. I wish they did integrate the... I know they are all around the time... I just wish there was a stronger through element through this game in terms of the rivals popping up personally.
You know what they could have done,
just
what they could have done is they could have made it so that you have to beat your rival. They could have made it to where, like, you get to the gym and your rival, like, bumps into you a couple times at the gym. So you walk up and the rival's like, oh, you're here. Okay, well, let's see who gets to battle the gym leader first. I'm going to take on the Olive Trial, and you have to beat me at the same time. Like, I know that doesn't make it 100% better, but, like, I don't know, it adds a little flavor to it if you see your rival pushing the Olive. Like, that could have been something creative they could have done. I don't know if they have the capability to do that, but probably not. But...
who knows? Who knows?
So
right,
now?
so now we wrap up the episode.
That's sad.
It is your episode, Joe.
Yeah, guys, hit the like button, subscribe, take a little bit. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. Spread those positive vibes or tweaks. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. Until next time, we're out. Peace.
Bye.